Hey guys, so for this quarter of Grid 1133, I chose to research the field of sustainable agriculture because it is something that holds a great deal of personal meaning to me. Specifically, I chose to research the aquaponic method because of its undeniable environmental effectiveness. I hope you guys enjoy. Sustainable agriculture is basically the practice of utilizing environmentally conscious farming practices, the focus being on leaving as little of an ecological footprint as possible. The term ecological footprint can best be defined as a person's lasting effect on their own natural environment. The sustainable agricultural practice, aquaponics, is a combination of aquaculture, raising fish, and hydroponics, the soilless growing of plants, that grows fish and plants together in one integrated system. The reason why I chose to focus on sustainable agriculture and the aquaponic method is because of the issues we face today universally in our agricultural industries. Because of the world's growing population, it has become a necessary practice to overindulge in our natural resources in order to support the number of people in our world. Therefore, it is my belief that sustainable farming practices, such as aquaponics, are a viable solution to the environmental issues that we face because of how environmentally conscious they are in comparison to commercial farming. In deciding what I would use as a basis for my research upon aquaponics, I concluded that the island school, an educational system on the island of Eleuthera, would be a perfect option. This school is one that focuses on educating students from around the world about the benefits of sustainable living practices. Fortunately, I was able to visit the school and observe its aquaponics system in the beginning of July. The aquaponics structure at the island school is one that is quite impressive because it supplies not only the campus with food, but also communities near and around its location. It is comprised of 25 total growing beds and 4 10,000-gallon tanks containing a species of fish called tilapia, pictured in the lower left of the screen. Unfortunately, I was unable to speak in person with the aquaponics manager, Michael Boleg, during my visit, who is pictured in the center of the screen. However, I was able to conduct the conversation over email. He provided a lot of useful information and also informed me about many of the benefits about the aquaponic method that were unique to anything I had read in articles. He talked about how beneficial the aquaponic system at the island school has been to not just the school but communities around the island because of the island's nutrient-lacking soil, which is a result of its foundation that is comprised of limestone. Aquaponics, a soilless system, offers a resolution to this soil crisis. At first, I was worried about conducting the interview with Michael because I felt like the questions that I would be asking would be trivial for him and honestly not very effective. However, as I've clearly shown in the previous slide, he offered a lot of useful insight that I was unable to find in the scholarly resources I utilized throughout my research. Now I'm going to talk about one of the struggles I faced in conducting my research this quarter about the economic and environmental benefits of sustainable agriculture and the aquaponic method. One of the most difficult things for me was using keyword combinations on databases like Google Scholar and EBSCOhost in order to find articles that offered meaningful and insightful information. However, the major thing that helped me with this dilemma, along with the other writing projects like the annotated bibliography, was utilizing the suggestions you guys posted in discussion groups on Canvas. I'd never really realized how helpful outside suggestions could be to a research project, especially an online class, probably because I've never really conducted one in such a complete manner like this. One of the things that I remember from doing the annotated bibliography was thinking that it was going to be a piece of cake. Much to my surprise, the project turned out to be one where I was rewriting a lot what I had written, which led to the realization that this project was going to be much harder than I thought. The last difficulty that I faced in conducting this project was combining all of the research that I gathered from the scholarly resources, field observations, and the interview of Michael into one complete and persuasive paper in Project 4. It was a process that involved a lot of hair pulling, rethinking, and rewriting in order to produce something that was meaningful and factual at the same time. Moving on, one of the major issues that drew me to discussing sustainable agricultural practices, like aquaponics, has to do with our growing population as a planet. It is a problem. According to writers Passel and Cohn, our population is going to rise from 296 million in 2005 to 438 million in 2050. The current methods we practice in commercial agriculture simply will not be environmentally sustainable enough for us to continue the way in which we have in our farming practices. In the words of authors Flavius Biladru and Adrian Grosea, sustainable indoor fish farming must become the farming of the future. The aquaponic method would also provide a perfect solution to our country's abuse of natural resources like ground and surface water, from which we take 80 to 90% of the total amount. These rates of usage will not be sustainable for that much longer, which is why we must alter our farming methods into one that is more environmentally conscious. Economically, aquaponics could offer many benefits. One way is in which the fish in the system, through their excrement, produce the nutrients or fertilizer that the plants need to grow successfully. Rather than spending 5 to 10% of total crop expenses on fertilizer, aquaponics could naturally and freely provide this for us. In a world that is growing and demanding of more food production without contributing stress upon our earth and its environment, aquaponics and other sustainable agricultural methods are simply the logical solution because of their ability to produce effective crop yields without damaging our natural and non-renewable resources. In the end, these sustainable practices, like the aquaponic method which I have discussed in this presentation, are the only viable method to solving this crisis we face in terms of food production for the future. We have been abusing our planet for far too long in order to benefit our own lives, and it is time for a change, because as Michael Boleg believes, the only way we can preserve ourselves is by preserving our planet first. Thank you.